Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Yeah, a bit of a different one this week. I've got a problem with the van, so the Caravan won't be going anywhere until I actually get this resolved. And I've got a rear spring that's snapped, so I need to get on and actually sort of, yeah, get that replaced. And looking online, the recommendation there is if you do one side, you do the other. So I've got a pair of springs to install today. Not done this before, but it does look pretty straightforward. I'm hoping I can just sort of take obviously the wheels off, lower the arms, put the springs in. Now the only thing that may sort of fight against me at the moment is the actual torsion bar. So obviously when I lower one down and start pushing down to get the spring out, obviously the torsion bar is going to be sort of counteracting that and trying to bring that back up. So I'm just going to see while I'm on my own if I can actually manage that. If not, I'll undo the torsion bar, which is only sort of 2 bolts either side, to sort of solve that problem, and then I can put that in at the end. But what I'll do is I'll get cracking, see how we get on, and then yeah, we'll see what happens together. Now the jack is in place, taking the weight, the red one behind. I've also put the spare wheel under the tow bar, so again, if anything was to happen and it was to drop down, I've got that as some reassurance as well. But hopefully it won't come to that. Rightio, so that is the wheel off. Here's the spring that I need to get to. And to get to that, I need to take this brace off. So I need to undo this bolt here, other side, and then that will allow this to flex down. Now what I was talking about, the anti-roll bar, it's this in here, which then attaches to here. So again, if you are struggling to get these down, undo these both sides, not just one side, both sides at the same time, otherwise you'll continue to fight. Then that should be less tension on this, and then you should be able to just push this down and grab this one out. But that's the theory, so yeah, let's get to doing that. Rightio, so when it comes to taking out this bolt, it's a 21mm socket that you'll need, and what comes out obviously is the nut, and then you'll need to put a bit of tension on this to be able to get this bolt, which comes from the other side, out. Now when it comes to actually taking the spring out, if you are on your own, I would recommend taking out the anti-roll bar, the 2 bolts. And that is just a 13mm 2 bolts that come out either side and then move away. That gives you a much easier go. Let's see, moving these down. I can get my fingers right there now. So as long as you've got enough clearance here, you should just be able to push this right down until it falls out, and then you can get your new one with your new rubbers, and then you can have a go at slotting this back into place. Now there is a line here, and that corresponds with the notch on the bottom here, so it locks it into place. There isn't one on the top, so that's how it will sit on the bottom once it's there. But let's get the top in. Make sure you start with the top, because obviously there's more of the spring that you need to get in place, and then it should just be a case of that's in. You just got to get your leg now back into place to be able to put this on. Now to get this one realigned, to get this realigned and back in the hole, obviously you need to lift this back up, and that's where one of these little jacks will come useful. You just lift it up gradually until you can see straight through, and then you can just put the bolt back in. So that's the bolt back in, the new shock in place, the new rubber installed at top and bottom. The only thing left to do this side is the anti-roll bar, but I won't do that until I get the other side and fix that. And then once the other side is done, then I'll come back round and tighten all these bolts back up. Back together, bolts, new spring. Same for the other side. So we're going to take it for a test drive. So here's all the used parts, and this is another reason why to replace the rubbers, because they do go over time, so it's definitely worth doing. I think I paid about 25 quid off eBay for top and bottom rubbers, so definitely worth doing at the same time. And this is obviously where you can see where it's snapped. So having actually completed that process for the first time, it was pretty straightforward. Yeah, I would say allow about an hour to actually do both sides. It's about 20-25 minutes if that, and then a few minutes obviously get tools out and put away. One of the things I did learn was actually, yeah, definitely worth taking the anti-roll bar off, especially if you're on your own. Saves you having to struggle trying to add weight to it whilst trying to get the actual spring out. So yeah, why put yourself through that hassle? 2 bolts either side, 13mm, they come straight out, and then it allows you just to work on one side then the other. You don't need to take both wheels off, and actually you can put the anti-roll bar back on with both wheels on. It's very straightforward, and you can get to the bolts really easy. So probably definitely a win if you're going to go down that route. Rightio, so that's the 2 springs installed. Pretty straightforward, wasn't too bad in the end. Like I say, the tools that you need are pretty limited, nothing special. Lucky for me, these are some of the bits that I had purchased recently, which I sort of showed you in a previous video a few weeks back, where being prepared if you had a blowout tyre on the Caravan itself. So yeah, I'm glad I actually purchased those recently, because that's really come in handy. Yeah, like I say, it does go to show you that you can do these kind of jobs yourself. You just need to have a little bit of confidence, and yeah, just make sure you know what you're doing to start with in terms of getting that research in before attempting it. But that's it for this week's video. Hopefully, yeah, it's been something different that you've learned. And yeah, if you're liking the content, as always, if you can consider subscribing, liking and sharing, that would be great. And I will see you all on the next one. Cheers all.